Hello, everyone, and welcome. This is Iman from onpoint. Welcome to today's webinar on Bizview Essential, redefining budgeting and planning for modern finance. We already had a session on Bizview, and that was with our dear colleague Renzel. And this one is with another special guest with us from onpoint, which is Habib. So Habib is a reporting consultant at onpoint. He will be delivering today's webinar. So everyone, let's welcome Habib to the stage.
Hello, everyone.
Hi, Habib. How are you
Hi,
today?
hi, Hamid. Thank you. Doing good. I'm fine. Thank you very much.
Are you
Uh,
excited for today's webinar?
yeah, I've actually been looking forward to this, and I'm so excited to be here
Excellent.
today.
So that's really good. So without further ado, Habib, I will leave the floor and then you can start ahead with your presentation. Thank you so
All
much
right.
and good luck.
Thank you, Hyman. Hello, everyone. My name is Habib. I'm a reporting consultant at some point, and I've been working with Point for over 2 years now. And welcome to today's webinar. So today we'll be looking into what Bizview actually entails, how our key focus will actually be on how the traditional tools has actually evolved over the year to fit the needs of the modern financial methods. So let's kickstart. So the agenda of what we'll be looking into today is actually what Bizview entails, the key strengths. We are going to have a quick demo, and lastly, the Q&A session. So getting started with it, what we'll be looking into today. So Bizview is actually very smart and flexible tools that helps businesses with planning and creating detailed reports. And what makes Bizview actually essential is the ability to connect not just to the popular Microsoft Dynamic alone, but also to various sources, regardless of where you have your data saved, regardless of the ERP or the CRM you have your data saved. Bizview could actually connect to these various sources. So we'll be looking more into that. Some of the key strengths we'll be looking into today is how Bizview could actually integrate the integration capabilities, how fast it works, how easy it is to use. You don't need to be a tech expert before you could work with Bizview. You get access to all your data, not just the data you're using for your planning alone, and what you'll be getting if you're making use of Bizview, the unified planning and planning platform. So let's get started. So we started with the integration capabilities. So over the years, we've been working with most of Microsoft ERP as well as their tools for people that are familiar with Jet Reports. We also work with Jet Report also. So what I'll bring to you today actually is a link. So you don't need to go through any stress of installation. Everything is being done in the cloud. So what we get today is a link for your planning on 610. So everything is done in the cloud. And with the help of the Open Business Data Fabric, which acts as an adapter, it helps you connect your data, regardless of where it's been stored, CRM, ERP, or whichever databases you have your data being stored. It connects them seamlessly into Bizview directly, and this is actually fast in a way of the problem with most of the local or let me say the traditional tools right now is what the face is. They need to teach their tools how Microsoft Dynamic work, for example, how it's supposed to get or connect to it. But with Bizview, this actually comes easy. You don't need to spend a week setting it up, probably telling it, okay, fine, this is the way Microsoft Dynamic work, for example. This is the way you need to get data from it. All this has been done. All this integration has been set up at the back end and Bizview. And this actually connects to your data in a very easy way. Now, let's take say on spreadsheet, for example, right now. So you are planning, let's say you have a planning cycle and you started your project. Then you started working on a spreadsheet workbook. Then you sent let's say, workbook to your project approver. Then he or she reviewed it. There needs some correction to be made. It was sent back to you. You did some changes, and at the end of the day, you end up having a folder filled up with a lot of Excel workbook. Then at the end of the day, probably you or the project manager to somehow match all this together before you can make sense of it. This actually takes time and wastes a lot of time. So Bizview has actually eliminate all this, giving you the direct access for you and your project manager to actually work with a single tools. Everybody being able to interact with that particular tools and the platform. No need to do a manual merging. Everything has been done for you, and you get access, full access to all your data. One other thing that we offer also in Bizview is actually a very simple user interface. I say a very simple user interface. It's not something tedious. As first you might be wondering, oh, Bizview, could this actually meet our needs? So it actually has a likely friendly interface, just like we have in Excel. You could actually interact. You could change formulas. You could do a copy of your formulas from one cell to the other. I could actually make a cell reference also. So you also get access to your full data. I mean, the joy is actually the process is you communicate. Okay, fine. What needs to be done as first? How do you want your planning process to goes? What table would you be working on? But your access to your data is not limited to that particular table you're actually working on. You get to access. You have a very flexible control over all your data anytime, anywhere you want to work with your data. And at the end of all this, you are not actually getting just the planning tools alone. I mean, could you picture yourself combining your forecast and your actual data together in one tools? Because most of organizations nowadays actually they use a separate tools. They have a different tools for their planning and they have a different tools for their reporting also. But what we're offering you right now is a simple tool that actually entails these two together in one particular tools. To get more details into this, we are going to move into the demo session. I already have the interface opened and I'm going to share my screen now. So, Amin, when you can see my screen, please let me know. Yep, I am sharing my screen now. Could you confirm, Herman, please?
Yes,
Can
yes,
you
we
see my?
can see it. Yes, we can see it, Habib.
Yep. All right. Thank you. Thank you for that. So literally what we have right here is just a very simple interface of what the home page of Bizview. And like I said earlier, um, we we do not it does not actually requires any tedious installation. Everything is being done in the cloud. All you need is the link, this particular link to access your Bizview. So this is the home page of what Bizview actually looks like. And what we have right here is just these are just my favorite reports and my inputs, what I work with more frequently. And one thing is I am logging here as a financial administrator as James Miller. So I get to assign each project to each department. So these are actually the tasks assigned to me that I need to work on personally. So this is my dashboard. This is the sales per product that helps me to track how my sales are doing across the previous years. I have some KPI cards here. I have a bar chart here that helps me track the top users of the events. You can see I have myself here and I have Anna. And this in particular workflow is one of the best features in Bizview that would actually blow your mind. And with this, you'll be able to track how the planning cycle is actually going. You'll be able to know if we are actually, let's say, at the dead end of meeting the target, or probably you need to do some extra works, chase your each budget owner in each department to extend them to finalize their budget planning. So I'm going to enlarge this so we can see more into that. So what we have right here is just we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 5 bars. Each bar carries different meaning. So the first bar, which carries the name initiated, simply talks about the budget, the entry that's actually ready to be worked on, that has been assigned to each department, but they have not started to work on them. We have in progress, which means, oh, for this particular department, okay, fine, they've actually, this number of users have actually started working on their budgets, but it has not been, let's say, ready for approval or ready to be reviewed. And we have a very small one here, which means probably this particular users have done some works and the work is ready to be reviewed. That's why it's set to ready. So the project manager could actually review their project. If he or she is satisfied with it, he could approve it, or if not, reject it. But we'll see that in more details when we go to the workflow tab. So we have resume here. So we have the resume. Probably one of the users actually work on their project. It was ready. Their project manager reviewed it, and the project manager was like, "No, I'm not satisfied with this value or what I have here. You need to rework on it." So the project manager will reject their projects. Then they are going to get a notification that it has been rejected. Then once they start to rework on it, that's why we have it here as resume, which means they restarted their project planning. And kudos to these users. They did their work well. The project manager was happy with it and it was approved and they are ready to go. So you could actually set your own page as you like. If you are not satisfied with what your workflow dashboard is, you could actually edit it. We have our edit dashboard here. You could select the particular one you want. You could actually highlight this. You have the general settings where you can show or hide the title. You could do many more. You could show the border. If I click on this and I have it on, now you can see I have this thick line around it. And I could turn that off also. And you could actually show many more things in the data bindings also of a lot of things you would like to see right here. So you could actually set up your own page just like as you want. So I like mine as this and I will not want to mess it up. So let's look into how this actually works more further. So on the left side right here where we have our ribbons, I have my workflow here, and which is what we'll be looking into today. Oh, yep, I don't want to say yes, leave. Thank you very much. All right, so what we have right here is all the entries that has actually been assigned to each department. We have 10 United States, we have 105 IT share service, we have 100 New York. And if you notice, we actually have some color codes also. We have gray, we have yellow. And if I scroll down right here, we have some that are blue, we have green as well. So everything actually has meaning, which helps you to track the process of how a particular budget is going. So what we have right here is the gray one, which is the initiated, which actually means this particular entries have been assigned to a particular department for them to work with, but they've not started yet, which means, okay, fine, you need to kind of like check with them, okay, what's going on here? Why has this not started yet? Why are you not working on this yet? Then we have the blue, the yellow one. If I select this particular entry, now which means in progress, which means, okay, fine, for this particular department, this user has actually started working on their project. Probably they might not be done, but they've made a progress, or they are making a progress, they have a progress ongoing, but it's not yet ready for approval. I think I have, yes, for the cash flow. So this is actually ready for this particular budget. This input is ready. Andrea, this was assigned to Andreas Brown. So Brown has made a lot of progress in this, and this is ready to be reviewed by the project owner, which is why we have it as ready here. So as a project owner, which is assigned to me, as I'm signing it as James Miller, I could actually review this. If I'm okay with this, I'll click on approve. If not, I'm going to click on reject. So let's dive into how that actually works well. So I am signing as two users. I'm signing as James Miller right here. And I have another tab open as Andreas Brown. And I'm going to go there now. So if you notice right here, I might have the same, let's say, similar home tab as James on Andrea's Brown home page, but the only entries that are assigned to me is what I'll be able to see right here in my workflows. And if you notice in my favorite, I only have two, just profit and loss and the product sales. I do not have, as I have here, the sorry, if I go to my home page, my favorite reports. So that means this is to show you your home page is actually how you want it to be. You could actually set it. It doesn't work all the same. It works different for different users. So right here, I'm going to go back into what we're trying to discuss. And I'm going to select the profit and loss budget. So right here, some work has been done in progress, probably. As you can see, what we have right here. So let me discuss what we have right here. So what we are seeing right here is we have the actions tab, interface, we have the instructions, which actually shows you how each of the color code works, how you can set it when you are done with your work. So if you want to leave a comment after you're done with your project, you could actually leave one here. Your project manager, which is James Miller, which actually get the notification. You could leave an attachment, probably as James Miller as the project administrator. I could go here. If I go here to the project input, right here, what we have here, you see I got some notifications from Andrea's updated the inputs after the latest employee budget adjustment were posted. Then probably something was wrong, I was not satisfied. Then Andrea sent a message also again that budget ready. Then it's still in progress. That means this was actually rejected. Probably if I want to help her out and I want to make things easy, I could actually leave a comment here and attach a report here. Probably go to my folder, attach the report, and I will leave a comment. Okay, fine. See the attachments and see what was done in the let's say the Excel book. So it's going to actually help you to facilitate and make your budget process faster. So going back to Brown's page right here. So let's look into the reports to see what's holding Andrea's back. So what we have right here, like I said earlier, is actually an interface that's actually simple. I mean, it might not meet your standard, but it gets the work done, which is the most important part. If you already have probably a design template in Excel, it could actually be imported into Bizview, and we could work with that as well. So what we have right here is actually we have some account numbers that were actually retrieved directly from your ERP system, which is Microsoft Dynamics in this case. And we have this, what we have here, which is the grade, or should I call it? Yes, I can call it gray. Actually, the live data pulled directly in real time from your ERP system. And we have some account number, and if we go a little bit down, we have some cost of goods sold, which are our actual data. We have some gross profit, we have expenses, and we have a lot more further down. So I could actually make this to look a little bit more like Excel if you're having a little doubt. So if I go to the view tab here, I could click on the formula bars. So that could display the formula. Something is not okay. Yep, the formula bars. I could click on the headings also. Now you would notice something. Yes. So this is actually not just any cell. This is cell column AC row 35, which is cell AC35, which is something similar to Excel or spreadsheet for wherever it's not familiar with spreadsheet. So this actually works like similar to Excel. You could make some entries, you could make some changes. Let's look into that, how we can have that. So for this, let's pick this for example. For this particular services revenue, we have a budgeted amount, which is 6,277, which was spread across the month. So you could actually check, okay, fine. I don't want it to be spread this way. I want it to be spread even across all the month. You could actually go here, click on the spread key, and I'm going to click on my even ISO month. Now, if you notice, this was actually spread evenly across all the months. This was changed. If this is okay or you're satisfied with it or this is what you wanted, you could go ahead and click on saved. And one other thing we could do is you could make a cell reference. I could say, see, this is equal to anything this is, anything my January have plus 5,000. I could click on OK. Now, if I go ahead and change my January to 6,000, now you see it's being picked up here and it does not affect the rest. So if this is actually spreadsheet or let's say Excel, the formula might have been broken. But because this is Bizview, it's understood, okay, fine. For this particular two cells, they are not actually making use of the spread key value. The formula has been changed and it understands this, which is one of the advantage here. So one thing we could also do is, okay, fine, we want to spread this particular budgeted amount. We don't want to make any changes on each cell. We want to spread with our last year spread key value. I could select my last year spread key value. Now, if you notice, it's actually, excuse me, it actually spread the value, this particular value, across all the months based on our last year spread key value. And probably, let's say, you could actually say you have 80,000 might be too much. Let's go, for example, 30,000 right here. And this, can we have this based on, let's say, even? Now this spreads the 30,000 evenly across all months. So I could actually have this, let's say, for example, my January, the 2,500 is too much. I want to have 2,000. Or I don't want to have, let's stick with 2,000. So I could actually leave a comment in the cell, which is one of the advantages of Bizview. You could actually go here and be like, okay, leave as it is, or something of no changes should be made for this particular month. I'll click on OK. So anytime I hover across this particular month, I'm going to see that comment. Probably I'm actually the one working on my budget personally myself, and I want January to be the same. Probably the next time I logged in, I was confused. Oh, why do we have 2,500 across all this and 2,000 here? If I hover here, then I will remember, oh, I left this comment here, so I won't make any changes next time I comes in. And you could actually lock your cells also after all the changes is done. If you press on save, it will actually lock this particular form so that no other changes will be made through any other person also, which means the project or the particular input form is ready for approval. So one other thing you could do right here is we could see our long-term planning. If I overwrite here, just where we have our show hide. Now, if you see, we have some features. We have view hub, view actuals, we have view account details, which are actually being enabled. We have view recommend, and we have view our long-term plan. So if I uncheck this and I go back right here, if I scroll a little bit to the right, now you will notice the only thing I have is just the budget planning for 2024. Then the comments, I don't have anything for our long term. So you could actually have your planning. You could set it up for more than just the next year. Then you could set it up for 3-4 other years or as much as you would like. Or if I go back here to enable this again and I click on the view long-term plan, if I close this, so what you're seeing right here is for 2024, we actually have them splitted across all months, but for the 3 future years, we have them just for on a yearly basis, not on a monthly basis. So to actually change this, if you don't want the increment by 10%, you could change it to 20%. And if you notice, the value actually changes. If that is too much, if you want to reduce to 15%, that works well also. And definitely you could come here on the comments and leave a comment here just to make sure you are aware that you left this 50% here. So nothing should be made to this. So you could, if you don't want them to see the comment section on the long time, you could actually come here. If I disable this too, as you can see, if I scroll a little bit to the right, the whole disappears and they only see what I want them to see, what I want to show them. So I'm going to enable this. I'm going to close this. I'm going to scroll back. So one thing you also have access to see right here is you're able to track how your entries is being made, who made the last adjustments or who made the last entries. So I mean, imagine I logged in the next time and I was like, even though I have liberty says this could be 2,500. I don't remember putting 2,000 here because definitely if I have 2,500 across all month, I should definitely have 2,500 here. I didn't make these changes. Did somebody log in or something like that? So we have the audit tree. If I right click on this and I go down, I have access to the audit tree, which actually tracks whoever made the last entries. I could actually see them here. Now, if you notice this particular user, which is Brown, make the last entries on this particular date, on this particular time, on this particular template, and this was the last value that was made. So I made a new entry which is on 2000, and if I go ahead and save right here, so it is asking me, is the form ready for approval? And probably I've literally made all the changes I want or I wanted to. I'm going to click on yes, this is ready for approval. So one thing you're going to get if you notice something now, this has moved from in progress to ready. So on the other hand, as James, I'm also going to get a notification that this particular project is ready for approval. So if I go ahead and open this right now, you get this particular message that Andreas Brown logged this form, which means it's ready for approval, and we do not want any changes to be made to the report again. So if I try to change this, I'm clicking and it's not allowing me, and that's actually a way to help protect your form and how the entries and everything is going also. But if I go ahead and check my audit trail right here, now this was the last entry I made here, which is the 2000. So if I was actually confused or had a little, let's say, back and forth with my project manager, and I was telling James, oh no, I didn't make this 2000. It was literally on to 5. That's not happening. They could be like, oh, this is you. You made this 2000 on this particular time, on this particular date. So it is definitely you. Now could be like, oh, definitely I did. So if we over back to James template to see if we actually get the notification. Before we do that, so I'm going to click on back to my workflow. I want to leave a comment for James. James, could you please check this today? Thanks. Check this today. Thanks. Then if I send this, now if I over back to the other page where I'm logging as James, and if I check, now you see I got the notification right here from Andreas saying on this particular, so it keeps track of every important details. So this particular message was sent by on this date, by on this particular time, which is what we have right here. And this was Andreas' message. James, could you please check this today? Thanks. Then I already see that this is set at approval. And I could actually felt like, oh, Andreas Brown budget plan is ready to be reviewed. So I could actually unlock this to check if I want to make any changes to it. Or I could be like, oh, this is good. Then I could actually approve it here. Or if I'm not okay with it, I could actually reject. So if I go ahead and approve the budget right here, now I could leave a message for Brown. I could tell her well done. Then I'll send back a message to her. Then if we over back to Andrea's page, now Andreas Brown got the message from James also, which is well done, and the budget has been approved also. So we could actually say kudos to Brown. And let's say Brown actually saves us a little headache. We do not need to worry about that. We need to actually check and worry about the rest. So one thing I would show you also before we move away from here is I'm going to open back the template again. Yes, please. So I got a message that James Miller locked this form, which means it has actually been approved and no changes is supposed to be made to this also. So even though you open back the templates and you try to change any numbers or any value, try to input, make any entries, it's not going to allow you. And that is because this particular template has been set or has been approved and it is ready to go, and we do not want to mess it up. So in case of spreadsheets or Excel, it's not the case. So this is one of the advantages Bizview offers again. So one thing also is you could actually share your reports with other users to see. So if I over down to these tabs I have here, I click on share. So if I click on this particular one, I get to share it as a URL, or let's say for example, so for users that already have a planning tools, they could actually embed Bizview into their planning tool. Let's say for example for Power BI, so we have an embedded code which you could actually copy and paste on in your planning tool if you already have one, and if you don't, Bizview is a very good one for you. So I could share this, I could copy this and I'll share it. I get the message successfully copied, and I could copy the URL. So if I copy the URL right here and I send to a user and they just paste it in their browser, they would actually be able to see what I display over there, which is this right here. So I don't need this tab. I'm going to close this right now. Yep, I want to leave. So if I want to show the headers, I could select it. If I want to include the client, I could select it also, and I could copy the link and share to them. But in this case, I don't want to. So I'm just going to close this. So one last thing we'll be looking at is I'm going to over back to the ribbon side where we have our reports. I'm going to click on this and let's view my profit and loss report. I'm going to read it based on my last values. Yep, I want my budget version 1, and I'm going to open this. I didn't select something. Okay, yep. So I mentioned earlier, and this is just the proof, they could actually compare your actual data with your budget version in your reporting. In your report side by side. So this is actually the actual data, the live data coming from your ERP system, and this is coming from your budget version reports. And you could actually see them side by side right here in here. So for people that were actually wondering, is it actually possible to have a different scenario? Probably you want, in the case you want to have two different scenarios where, okay, fine, if this doesn't work, would we have this? Would it work also without messing up the first scenario or messing up the first entry? So you could actually do that. Before I run this template, you could actually remember I have this on the forecast SQ. So budget version 1 is our first scenario. So we have budget version 2, we have 3, we have budget next year. We have forecast Q1, quarter 1, for Q2, for Q3, and we have the simulation scenario also. So you could actually have as many scenarios as you want. I could actually be able to compare them together without messing up the other one. So if I click on my budget version 2 here, and if I click on Opal, if we have something in our budget version 2, we could actually get it. So right here, we do not have any entries in our budget version 2, but as you can see, the actual is still picking up directly from our ERP, but because there is nothing on our budget version 2 template, so this returns nothing. So this actually works, and this is kind of like what you are getting. So you're not just getting a good planning tools, you're getting a very good reporting tools as well, likewise. The last thing we'll be looking into, excuse me, if I over back to James tab, and I want to go to the report, if I select my product sales, I want to preview this on my latest value, and I'm going to click on open. Now, one thing you'll notice right here is we have 4, or should I say 5 different tabs beneath right here. Each tab with different values or different data, which is in the case of as James Miller, probably I want to check or compare different department budget, or I want to look at different department budget at the same times. And I don't want to have let's say I don't want to go ahead and be clicking or be opening different spreadsheet server workbook or having a different link opened. So I could actually open all of them in one. And at the end of the day, I have a consolidated tab, which means I don't need to go ahead and start merging each of these together. Bizview has already done that for me. That's why we have what we have a total. So Bizview has done that. Bizview has actually helped you to match all the department that I showed or we have in the tab right here, match them together and give it a name as the total tab right here, which means you're actually seeing for each department. What we see in each department has been added together, which is what gives us this total tab right here. So if you actually don't want, let's say, for example, you actually review everything and you want the consolidated for just 102, 103, 104. You don't want any business to do with 101. You could actually go ahead, go to the selection pane. I'm going to go right here and I'm going to unselect 101, which is our, sorry, not that one, which are our one max. And I'm going to click on up. Now, if you notice, it actually got rid of that and our totals have been reduced and we only have just four tabs, including our total from 102, 103, 104. And if you felt like you find it just one, two, could actually go ahead and select 80, which is 103. I'll open this and I will actually get to, and what I'm having right here in my total is actually the consolidated for just this particular 102 and 104 alone. So literally, Bizview has actually solved all these minor entries, error, no need to error check, everything is being done. It's very fast and also reliable. You don't need to error check or do some sort of that, and it saves a lot of time. So with this, you could actually be able to track how the planning cycle is going, how everyone is doing in each department, and which department is actually doing a great work, which department do you need to actually run after. How am I doing against my targets? Do I need to do something to meet my targets? Is there something that needs to be done? Why am I lacking behind my target? So all these are actually easy and very reliable to track in Bizview. So if you'd actually would love to get in touch with us to have a longer chat on what Bizview can actually offer to you, we'll be very happy to offer you that. I hope you enjoyed the webinar. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Habib, for your presentation. It was really insightful. Thank you so much. So what's your feedback on today's presentation and what you'd like to say?
I would like to say very thank you, Hyman, for setting this up. Thank you also, Joseph, for setting up this wonderful presentation, and thank you for everyone for all our, should I say, users or whoever joined the last time. We had a little challenges and a little slight back, so apologies for that. That would not happen again. So thank you very much for coming through.
Thank you so much. Okay, Habib, one last thing. So in the last webinar with Ranzel and Gustav on Bizview, I asked them a question at the end, which is like, what is like your favorite feature, let's say, on Bizview that you think stands out the most? What's your
Yeah, my favorite feature is actually the workflow. I mean, imagine it's so interesting. It saves headache. You don't need to like manually go should I say, chase each department or be wondering, okay, fine, who do I need to reach out to? Is there anybody actually even doing any work? So with the feature workflow, I could actually see who has actually started their budget, who are making progress, who are almost done, or who have not even started yet. So without the workflow, I could actually be that would be a lot of headache. I mean, I need to reach out to each department one after the other to be able to see. I wouldn't even know who started or who is almost done with a particular project. So I could say now, next time, forever, the workflow is my favorite feature.
Okay, nice. So, like the workflow is the best for you.
Is the
That's
best.
really interesting. Um,
Thank you.
okay, so I think it's time now to wrap up. So everyone, if you have any further questions, feel free to reach out to us. And yeah, so see you next time in our next webinars for next year. So this is our last webinar for 2024. Thank you so much for being really good, really good audience for us and people who join us from anywhere, like around the world. So thank you so much, and see you next year in future webinars. Thank you so much, Habib, for joining us today.
Thank you, Henry.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so much.